Welcome to my channel, briefing on Bravo Dive into the daring and thrilling world of Bravo. Your ultimate entertainment enjoy always first of all. Katie Maloney is grieving the death of her father, Richard Maloney. The Vanderpump Rules cast member confirmed the family loss via Instagram on Friday, January 10, when she posted a heartfelt tribute to her dad. Katie didn't provide details on the cause of the death, but said it occurred on January 5. Katie Maloney recalls sweet memories of her dad, Richard. "I feel like I am a stranger to grief," she wrote in the January 10 post, which included a photo of her and Richard hugging. "As much as it has touched my life and so many I love, it's not something I have become comfortable or well acquainted with. This last Sunday my father passed away. Since I have been met with a variety of emotions, numbness, peace, complete utter sadness, and even at times guilt." She continued, "My dad was everyone's favorite. He was so charming, made everyone feel welcome and comfortable. We shared the love of dad jokes, and he had an endless supply. He was always so supportive of my brothers and I growing up, and as adults championed our endeavors. I cannot smell Irish Spring without immediately thinking about him, how the scent almost covered up the smell of wheel grease from his job. It's a core memory that I have always held and hold closer now. Dad, I love you forever. Thank you for the million laughs, for the father-daughter dances throughout life, and for the love you gave us. Love, your baby girl." bravotv send condolences to Katie. The post was immediately flooded with condolences, many of which were shared by Katie's fellow bravotv, like Summer House's Amanda Batula, The Valley's Janet Kiperna, The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City's Whitney Rose and Heather Gay, and Katie's disrespectfully co-host, Dana Cathan. Richard appeared in Vanderpump Rules Season 5, Episode 21, March 27, 2017, which documented Katie and Tom Schwartz's wedding. Katie Maloney clutched her phone tightly, the weight of her Instagram post heavier than she'd expected. The photo of her and her father, Richard, hugging seemed to radiate warmth from the screen, but the accompanying words brought her back to the raw reality of loss. Grief was no stranger to others, but to Katie, it felt like a new, uninvited guest who had no plans to leave. The days since January 5 had been a blur of emotions. One moment, she felt utterly numb, as though her mind and body had paused in self-defense. The next, waves of sadness would crash over her, leaving her breathless. Occasionally, she'd feel a strange calm, a peace she couldn't quite name, followed by guilt that she wasn't drowning in sorrow every second. It was an endless cycle, one that seemed impossible to escape. Katie's memories of her father were vivid, like snapshots she could flip through at will. She could almost hear his hearty laugh, the kind that made everyone around him smile. He had a way of making people feel at ease, whether it was through a perfectly timed dad joke or his genuine interest in their lives. His charm wasn't an act, it was simply who he was. And he'd been so supportive. Katie could still hear his encouraging words whenever she felt unsure about her choices. "You're stronger than you think, Katie Bug," he'd say, using the nickname that never failed to bring a smile to her face. She hadn't realized how much she'd relied on his steady presence until it was gone. Her phone buzzed with notifications as condolences poured in. Friends, fans, and fellow Bravo Liberties had all reached out, their kind words offering comfort. Amanda Batula from Summer House had sent a thoughtful message, while Whitney Rose and Heather Gay from The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City left heartfelt comments. Even Dana Cathan, her co-host on Disrespectfully, had sent flowers. Each gesture reminded Katie that she wasn't alone, even though it often felt that way. But grief was a solitary journey, one that no amount of support could entirely lighten. Katie found herself revisiting memories of her father often, clinging to the small details that made him who he was. The smell of Irish Spring soap, which he'd used to wash away the grime from work, was one of those details. It had always mixed with the faint scent of wheel grease, a combination so uniquely dad that it brought tears to her eyes just thinking about it. She thought back to the father-daughter dances they'd shared, moments she'd treasured even as a child. Richard had a way of making those dances feel like the most important event in the world, twirling her around as if they were the stars of a grand ballroom. As an adult, those memories had taken on new meaning, a reminder of the bond they'd always shared. Katie closed her eyes and leaned back against the couch, letting the memories wash over her. She remembered the day of her wedding to Tom Schwartz, a day that had been both magical and chaotic. Her father had been there, a calming presence amidst the whirlwind. She'd seen the pride in his eyes as he walked her down the aisle, his hand steady on hers. That moment had felt like a bridge between her old life and her new one, with Richard at the center. Now, she felt adrift without him. She'd never imagined a world where he wasn't just a phone call away. The realization hit her in unexpected ways when she picked up her phone to share good news, only to remember he wouldn't answer, or when she saw something funny and thought, "Dad would love this." Katie sighed and set her phone down, the screen going dark. She'd spent so much time scrolling through messages and revisiting memories that she hadn't taken a moment to simply sit with her grief. Maybe it was time to do that now. She went to the kitchen and made herself a cup of tea, the familiar ritual providing a small measure of comfort. As the steam curled upward, she thought about her father's favorite drink, black coffee, strong and unadulterated. She teased him about it, saying it was too bitter, but he'd always laugh and reply, "Life's bitter enough, kiddo. Gotta meet it head on." Those words echoed in her mind now, taking on new significance. Life was bitter, yes, but it was also sweet in ways that could only be appreciated after tasting the bitterness. Her father had understood that balance, and maybe, in time, she could too. Katie took her tea to the living room and sat by the window, watching the world outside. It was a quiet evening, the kind her father would have loved. He'd often sit on the porch with a book or his favorite music playing softly in the background, content to simply be. She tried to channel that same energy now, letting the stillness wrap around her like a blanket. The days ahead wouldn't be easy. Grief wasn't something that could be neatly folded away or forgotten. It was a part of her now, as much as the memories of her father were. But she also knew that those memories were a gift, a way to keep him close even when he felt so far away. As she sipped her tea, Katie thought about the legacy her father had left behind. It wasn't just in the big moments, like walking her down the aisle, but in the small ones too. The jokes, the dances, the endless support. Those were the things that defined him, and those were the things she would carry with her. "Thank you, Dad," she whispered, her voice barely audible, "for everything." The words hung in the air, a quiet promise to honor his memory in the days, months, and years to come. For now, she would take it one moment at a time, letting the grief and the love coexist as they needed to. And in those moments, she would remember that she was her father's daughter, strong, resilient, and deeply loved. For all things of Bravo, step into a world of drama, laughter, and insider scoops as we dive deep into Bravo's hottest shows. From Real Housewives to Below Deck, join us for exclusive insights, epic recaps, and everything you need to stay Bravo obsessed. If you are looking for more dive into the daring and thrilling world of Bravo news, come back to Briefing on Bravo for all your updates. Must be you have to be obsessed with Briefing on Bravo. Thanks for watching my videos. Like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, and watch more of my videos. Thanks for being with us and best regards. Stay tuned and support my channel.